What's up guys, my name is Rustic and welcome back to another tutorial. On today's show, we're gonna On today's show, we're gonna talk about how to pull hair in a fight scene. We're trained professionals, so take our advice at your own risk. We're showing you how to do action safely, but there's always the danger of getting hurt, so please be safe and use common sense. Also, hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. What's up everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. If you're new here, my name is Rustic Bodamov. I'm a professional stuntman, and on this channel I make videos about filmmaking, stunts, and action design. So if you're into that kind of thing, hit that like button and subscribe. Today we're talking about how to pull hair in a fight scene. If you want me to answer any of your questions or you have any ideas for future topics for videos, make sure to drop those in the comments below because I do take notes on this stuff and I may answer your question in a future video. All right, let's talk about hair. So pulling someone's hair is a violent way to go from 0 to 100 real quick. When one person grabs another one by the hair, you really show the power difference between two characters. And if done well, that's actually a really good way to incorporate another level of realism into your action scene. Now the method of hair pulling I'm about to show you guys in this video, you can actually use all the way from simple projects up to bigger feature films. And that is because it doesn't require any special equipment. It's all done with the performers. But if you're a director working on a project with a bigger budget and you have an actual stunt coordinator, you can incorporate a bunch of crazy stuff like sliding plates, wigs, wire harnesses. You can literally like grab someone by the hair and like throw them around. And, you can do all this crazy stuff. But today, I'm just gonna show you a couple of these simple tricks that I used at the beginning of this video. What I'm gonna do is actually break down each of those 3 shots you saw at the intro, and I'm gonna tell you the trick behind each one of those shots. And what's cool about that is I actually coached my girlfriend Mary, the lovely lady who beat me up at the very beginning, and she's an actress. I actually coached her through each of those shots and we were able to get this result all within a matter of like 20 minutes or so. And yes guys, usually in movies you see like a bigger character, like a big man grabbing a smaller character like a small woman by the hair, but I had the hair. Also, I didn't want YouTube to think I was an abusive boyfriend or anything like that. Okay guys, so the first concept I want to establish with you, never actually yank on your partner's hair. The scalp is a very sensitive area, and if you're actually going to try to pull someone's hair without them reacting to you, without them helping you along, it's really dangerous and you can actually get hurt. So the trick here is to always work together with your partner and rehearse every move with the camera to make sure that everybody's on the same page every time. The second concept actually applies to the first concept. I'm going to call this one loosey-goosey. When you actually grab somebody's hair, there's a big difference between grabbing it to just show it to the camera and grabbing it to actually put tension on somebody's head. This is very similar to how in fight choreography, if you're a martial artist and you do a punch that's very small and tight, that might actually work better in reality, where for fight scenes, you want to exaggerate the motion and you want to be bigger and you want to like show a bigger line for the camera, right? That applies to here. So when you're actually grabbing someone's hair, you don't want to be tight and small with your hand. You want to kind of have it be messy in your hand, and you want to have your hand a little bit loose. You want to kind of have like a light medium pressure, and the shot itself that you set up should be what sells the fact that you're grabbing their hair. If you're filming a close-up of someone's hair getting grabbed, I recommend breaking it up into 2 parts. There's the hand plant where you show the hand making contact, and then there's the actual grab where you show the fingers closing to grab the hair. The reason I recommend this is because to just actually go in and grab somebody's hair all at once is difficult, and also you run the danger of actually hurting someone. All right guys, so those are our first couple of concepts. Remember to work with your partner and have plenty of rehearsal time. That way you can be safe when we get on set. Let's start breaking down these shots. Okay guys, so the very first example shot, Mary grabs me by the hair and she slams my head into a pole. So the trick to this hair pull here, I'd actually like to call the shoulder control technique. And that is because you see that Mary grabs my hair and then she actually plants her hand on my shoulder, and her hand stays on my shoulder the whole movement, right? I coach Mary to do this because with this method, she can actually push my body in any direction that she wants to go. There's literally 360 degrees of movement. And as long as I go along with wherever she's pulling me to, there's actually 0 pressure on my scalp. Now the shoulder control technique works really great for a medium shot like this, where my body actually has to travel quite a lot of distance in the shot. And with Mary helping me along by giving me some space as she pulls me back, I actually got some room to shuffle my feet around to get to the right spot for the reaction. To set this shot up, I told Mary to grab my hair with that medium light pressure and to place her hand on my shoulder at about the same time and keep the hair pulling arm relaxed. Once I taught her how to do that part, we worked out our distance between us to make sure that I was standing in the right position for the reaction. And if you guys want to know more about movement and positioning like that, you can check out my tutorial on movement. I'll link that down in the description. So then once we got our timing down, we ran it a couple times and then we were ready to film. So then in shot 2, we continue the action from the face hit and I stumbled down into the frame before getting my hair grabbed again by Mary and being yanked backwards with the force of Mary's pull. Now this one right here is a little bit different. We used a little bit of different technique to actually do the hair pull on this one. And what we did here, I like to call the hand control. You know how we got that shoulder control, which means that she's controlling me with her shoulder. Hand control just simply means that all the pressure is in Mary's hand that grabbed my hair. If you go through the shot slowly, you can actually see that I have the frame set up so you can see me go down the frame and you very clearly can see Mary behind me and you can see her grab my hair for the camera. And once she grabs my hair, you actually see that both my hands come up to grab her hand, and that is whenever I get yanked backwards. And the fact that I hold on hard to Mary's hand, I literally press it to my head. That's actually what gives Mary full reign to just pull as hard as she can, keeping a loose pressure in her hand, but her arm she can pull back. It actually saves me and we can actually do the shot this way. Now to set this shot up right here, I found a pretty camera angle that I really enjoyed, which has me landing in focus. You can see Mary in the background. I used the Dutch angle for this. I love Dutch angles if you guys don't know this about me by now. And the tricky part about this shot is I'm facing away from Mary, so I can't see her coming. I can't really prepare for it. And the movement in this shot is bigger than the movement in the first shot. So we really had to get the timing correct. And to do this, I used the 3-step method that I will call the claw. You guys like all these cool names I'm making up for all these methods here? Yeah. All right, so to do this 3-step method, the flat claw grab method, first we practiced the movement with Mary just placing her flat hand on my head. So she didn't even grab anything. Once we had the timing dialed in with that, I had her place her hand on my head and then make a claw. That way there's no pressure on the scalp and I can move on her timing. So we got the timing down with the claw until we were comfortable, and then we did the actual grab. So that's why it's called flat claw grab. Yeah. Now for the actual pullback, I told Mary to pull me back as soon as she felt my hands securely grab her hand. And when she pulled me back, I helped her by leaning my body back and straightening my legs. That way I could cover more distance and she didn't actually have to pull me. I actually helped her with my body. Remember guys, like I said at the beginning, there is no actual resistance here. Although Mary is using some of her strength to pull me back, I'm actually helping her along and going with her to help her make that action happen. So then once we had our timing, we filmed the shot. Now, the last shot that we filmed was a top-down shot of Mary dragging me through the frame, but this would have also worked as a low-profile shot because the whole point of this shot was to show me covering distance while Mary was pulling me through the frame. Both shots would have worked for the method that I'm about to tell you, but I just decided on a top-down because I thought it looked cooler in this case. This is the type of shot where on a bigger movie you might be using a wire harness or some sort of special rig, maybe having like some sort of sliding mat or carpet, or maybe having a wire harness and a wig involved. But in my version, we achieved this shot by me doing a modified crab walk combined with a modified hand control that I showed you guys in the previous shot. So if you watch the shot back in slow motion, you can see that I'm helping Mary pull me back by scampering backwards on 3 of my limbs while looking off balance. And you can also see that I'm still grabbing onto her hand that has my hair with just one change. Mary's actually holding my arm as well. Alright guys, so to set this shot up, we already knew the direction in which I was traveling and we had already shown the close-up of Mary grabbing my hair. So that means all we needed to do was have me covering distance through the shot. So the shot was pretty simple. We didn't really need to do many walkthroughs for this. The only thing I had to do was make 2 changes from the last shot. For this shot, I put the hand that was facing furthest away from camera on the ground, kind of hiding it behind my body. And that gives me 3 points of contact on the ground so I can actually scamper back. And I kept the hand that is on my head connected to Mary's hand so she wouldn't pull my scalp off. I then had Mary grab onto my arm with her free hand in order to take the pressure off her wrist because I'm a heavy dude and her pulling me just by her wrist hurts. So then she was using both arms. That gives her a little bit more leverage in addition to me helping scamper back. So with all that set up, we did a couple times. It was pretty simple and we made it look messy. Okay guys, so that's a couple of different ways that you can pull hair in a fight scene, as well as some of the different applications and uses for each one of those tricks. Now let's just do a really quick recap. So first of all guys, remember, never use real pressure on someone's hair. You do that by working with your partner and not against them. You should always do as many walkthroughs as necessary for everybody to be on the same page with the timing and the movements. Now the moves we talked about today were shoulder control. This is where you can use your free hand to move your partner around. It doesn't necessarily have to be the shoulder, you could also use their arm or whatever, and they don't have to be holding on at all. So that's shoulder control. Hand control is where the person whose hair is being pulled can grab the hand that's pulling their hair, and that takes the pressure off their hair, and the person that's pulling the hair can control the motion. And modified hand control is what I showed you guys in the top-down shot, where the person pulling the hair can also use their free hand to help support the hand that's grabbing their hand. You can modify it a couple different ways, but that's the way we did it in this video. And the last thing I showed you guys today was the modified crab walk. So that is hiding your hand behind your body away from camera and looking off balance while also having one hand on the hair. And that kind of lets you scamper back without having to do any sort of dragging along the floor or anything like that. Now, if I had to do this to Mary, I'm like 200 pounds, she's like 130. So her doing that to me is like me trying to pull like a 360 pound guy. But if it was me doing it to her, I probably could have actually pulled her along the ground. I probably would have had her like wear some like thick clothing, or maybe do it like somewhere where it wasn't like concrete. If Mary would have grabbed my hand with both of hers, she would have been able to support her own weight, and I probably would have been able to easily pull her. And that about wraps it up, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you learned something new. Again, I just want to stress that there's no correct way to do fight choreography. Filmmaking is just creative problem solving, and there's always going to be a bunch of different tricks. There's always going to be a bunch of different ways that you can do something for a particular shot. So always pay attention to what it is that you're actually trying to tell. Look at your frame, and you can figure out a bunch of little tricks like on your own easily. And having said that, what I'd show you guys on this channel is some ways you can show action on a screen, but you can make it safer. But action filmmaking is always evolving, guys. So the main thing you need to do is get out there and start shooting and start experimenting for yourself and getting experience. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Hit the bell and all that stuff, because it really does help in the algorithm. And if you guys want to see more tutorials, more explanations like this, there's going to be a link down in the description as well as the pinned comment. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.